The arrival of the PlayStation 6 is in jeopardy. Sony is expected to postpone the release of the next generation of consoles. Hi guys, I'm Questify. Welcome to my channel. Have you been waiting for the arrival of the next generation of consoles in the coming years? You may have to wait longer. Well-known market analyst David Gibson from Sandstone Insights has made a prediction that will not please technology enthusiasts. According to his analysis, Sony will not rush the release of the PlayStation 6, and analysts already expect the company to postpone the release of the new console. The release was expected next year. The reason is not only the good sales of the current generation, but above all the impending crisis in memory and storage prices. RAM crisis makes production more expensive. The biggest obstacle for the next generation is currently the cost of components. The prices of consumer hardware, especially memory modules and SSD storage, are rising sharply. This puts pressure on manufacturers who are trying to keep the price of consoles at an acceptable level. While Sony reportedly has sufficient stockpiles of components for the current PS5, the situation is different for the PS6. The successor is expected to require high-end hardware, likely at least 16 GB of GDDR7 RAM. At current and projected prices, such a console would be extremely expensive to manufacture, which would have to be reflected in the final price for the consumer. Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming even suggested that Microsoft and Sony have already begun discussing a possible postponement of the next generation due to these factors. Sony in no rush. The second key factor Gibson cites in his investor report is Sony's financial health. The company simply isn't under pressure to release new hardware because its current one is making it a fortune. With healthy revenue from PS5 consoles and games, the company won't hesitate to delay the system, Gibson says. Expectations for Q3 FY 2025 revenue expected to be 1.8 trillion yen. Operating profit estimated to be 160 billion yen. Sales, while console sales have slowed slightly, they remain stable in the US, and software sales are excellent, according to the analyst, despite complaints from gamers about a lack of exclusives. Gamers wouldn't accept the high price tag. The combination of expensive components and economic uncertainty creates a dangerous mix. Current consoles Xbox Series X and PS5 are already selling for more than they did when they launched in 2020. Worse, the current uncertainty around memory and SSD prices could easily cause console prices to increase further this year. If Sony were to release the PS6 during a RAM crisis, the price tag could be prohibitive for the average gamer. There are concerns that even with modern chips speculated to be AMD's Orion APU and RDNA 5 architecture, the console wouldn't offer enough value to justify the extreme investment. While other analysts, such as the Moore's Law is Dead channel, believe that companies will simply wait for memory prices to drop, Gibson's conclusion is clear. Sony has the luxury of time thanks to the profits from the PS5 and will not risk releasing overpriced hardware prematurely.